Sports, ESPN. You referred to the box and one that the Raptors threw at you as a janky defense. Steve was wondering what exactly that janky is defined as. I think we all are. And what did you think of the fact that they threw it at you, and how did it work?
I don't know. I don't even know, a little Southern North Carolina slang. I probably just pull out my back pocket. It sounds right. I don't really know what the true definition is. But anyway, it was obviously innovative and unexpected in terms of a defense you haven't seen in a while. But there are obviously things that we could have done differently to try to create better shots. Every possession they threw at us, whether it's me off the ball or with the ball in my hands, or working around other guys. But at the end of the day, that fourth quarter was just kind of weird overall with the pace and lack of scoring. We played amazing defense, and that gave us, that cushion to close the game out and sustain that lead, even though we weren't able to create much offense in those last 6 minutes. But we'll be prepared for what they throw at us, going forward in this series, and just got to be able to adapt. That's pretty much what the finals is about at this stage, where you got to expect to see literally anything, and a lot of desperation in certain moments of games when they make those type of calls. So we'll be ready for whatever.
When's the last time you saw a box and one in the NBA?
I honestly can't remember. Probably last time I saw was when I had a Wildcat jersey on, though.
Next question in the back.
Josh Peter with USA Today. Steph, how would you regard your role as a leader right now, especially at times when you're playing without KD and Clay? How do you stabilize things or help stabilize things?
Nothing changes. Stay consistent with my approach every year, whether it's in training camp or in the finals and everything in between. Just trying to boost confidence, create the right perspective going into each game, and we do it by committee. There's a lot of different voices that we have that we rely on. Myself, Draymond, Sean, Andre, even K when he's able to provide his input, even when he's injured and going through his rehab and stuff like that. So we all just understand the moment, and we're very locked in and focused on adapting to the circumstances that are thrown at us right now, with a lot of injuries and kind of uncertainty of even who's going to be able to play. So we've been through a lot, had a lot of different experiences. This is just adding to that book. So we got to be ready.
Fourth row on your right, Steph.
Logan Murdoch, NBC Sports Bay Area. You kind of just touched on it with the injuries, but you guys have lost Kevin. Clay's questionable, and Andre was going through his stuff. How have you guys been able to overcome these types of injuries throughout the postseason?
It's just a continuation of kind of what I talked about after the game, after game two. It's just everybody being ready. The way that we play, I think everybody feels involved on both ends of the floor and has an opportunity to impact the game. Not necessarily like, scoring every possession, but just playing within the flow and sharing the ball, moving out, playing unselfishly, and just a style where everybody's going to get touches and just got to be confident and aggressive. So, again, day to day, it's just whoever's healthy, be ready to go, compete, have fun doing it, and whoever's out there on the floor just feel like you can't help us win the game, and a lot of guys showed that resiliency in game two, and it's going to have to continue for us to get 3 more wins.
Mark here in the front.
Steph, Mark Medina, Bay Area News Group. Andre was saying the other day that one of his sources of motivation was to protect your legacy, and from his perspective, he felt like there's peers that are jealous of what you've accomplished, and I was wondering what your perspective on that issue is.
I mean, honestly, I don't need anybody's validation or praise or them to hype me up as other people in the league. I know who I am. Like I always say, confident in my abilities and appreciative of the stage that I get to play on alongside my teammates, especially these last 5 years. So whatever comes with that territory doesn't really bother me, whether I'm liked or disliked or whether people respect my game or value for what it is doesn't really matter. I have great teammates who understand, one, what it takes to win and just the fun that we have playing the way that we do and the experiences that we've been able to create. So at the end of the day, that's all I'll remember when this is all said and done. Andre is the guy that kind of sets the tone when it comes to the overall perspective of what we're doing and protecting the conversation around that. But again, at the end of the day, I love playing, for championships and being on the stage, and I want it to continue for as long as it can.
Third row on the far right.
Monty Poole, NBC Sports Bay Area. Steph, when DeMarcus went down in Game 2 of the first round, I think there was a thought that maybe he wouldn't be able to come back in the postseason. Obviously, he's back now, and given what he was able to give you guys in Game 2 the other night, just what is your feeling about having him back among all the other injuries? You get him back, and what does he mean to you guys going forward?
I'm just happy for him, to be honest. I mean, like you said, there was so much uncertainty around his timeline, coming back, and for this to be his first finals experience, you can't be, more happy for him to have an opportunity to really impact the series in a positive way for us. And Game 2 was a huge step in the right direction in terms of him being able to play that many minutes and just increase his workload with all he's been through this last, 16, 18 months. So happy to have him back. He's going to be huge for us the rest of the series. And you can tell he's reminding people of how special of a talent he is and how versatile he is and how he's been playing and just getting more comfortable, with his body out there. And I think it's only going to continue to improve as the series goes on.
Last question here in the second row.
Yeah, Jeff Ferrato of Bay Area News Group. Just piggybacking off of what Monty asked you. DeMarcus out there said he expects to be better still in Game 3. What's your expectation for him? Would you be surprised if you're able to run the offense through him to some degree?
That's one of his main talents, is being able to play make, whether it's on the block or out on the perimeter or wherever he catches the ball. I think for him, it's just becoming still more confident in his ability to put pressure on defenses, on the block and use his size, get us, some easy buckets down there. But I think defensively he's been amazing. Just trying to be a plug in the paint and even when he needs to come out in the perimeter and rotating and things like that. But again, when you miss that much time and you're playing at the intensity of a finals game, and I don't think he had any minute restrictions, but it goes from 12 minutes to almost 30 and whatnot. That's a huge jump. So I just gotta assume that his confidence level is going to continue to increase as he gets some more minutes under his belt, and that should be a good sign for us as a team.
Thanks, Steph. Klay Thompson will be next.
What's the latest on Kevin and his status for tomorrow?
So Kevin won't play tomorrow, but he's ramping up his exercise routine, his workouts. And Klay is day-to-day, so he's questionable. And Loon is out, for the series. So there's your medical update. Yeah, Andre's going to play.
Was he able to do anything?
Yeah, he practiced.
Jeff Zilgate, USA Today. Steve, with the importance of sports science staffs and training staffs, what do you want the goal to be? You know, what did you learn from Phoenix that maybe you wanted to bring here? And, you know, what is their overall importance in helping put guys on the court?
Well, I think the idea is to provide the players the best possible care, and I think over the last couple of decades, it's incredible the difference in the size of training staffs, the expertise, the overall knowledge that we have now compared to 20 years ago, and so you want to hire top-notch people, and you want your players to be well taken care of and to participate in their own well-being. And so we have a really good group. We're very proud of our group and lucky to have them. And our players have done a very good job of being engaged with them all year. And you just try to stay as healthy as possible, but you got to be aware that stuff's just going to happen, and there's not much you can do about it.
Hi, Steve. Kerr, NBC Sports Bay Area. Going back to Kavan's injury, a non-displaced first costal cartilage fracture. Just what is that in layman's terms? And is it a situation where he can't raise his arm?
Well, it's kind of I think it's closer to the breastbone here. It is part of the collarbone, from what I understand, kind of in that in the joint in there, and so it's not anything that's going to be a problem long term, but it's going to keep him out for the rest of the series, which is obviously a big blow for us and for him. I mean, he's had such a great season, such a great postseason run, and fortunately, it won't affect his future. But it's a big loss for us.
Fragility of this time of year. The players want to give the most of their bodies. The demands are on it, but it's also the time of year where a long season catches up with you. Just what do you make of the injuries piling up in this moment?
Yeah, it's just the way it goes. And we've been playing 100-plus games for 5 years now. Not all of our players, but our team. And so we've got a lot of guys who have played long, difficult seasons, and they take great care of themselves, but there's a certain amount of luck involved with this too, and we know that. We've been on both sides of that. Some of our opponents have suffered injuries. We've suffered injuries. It's just part of the deal. So you just keep pushing forward.
Josh Peter with USA Today. How have all the injuries impacted Steph's role as a leader and just his ability to stabilize things or efforts to stabilize things, and how has he grown into the role of leader?
Well, he's been our leader since I've been here, and he leads by example. We have, and I should clarify that he's been one of our key leaders. Andre and Draymond, I would single out as well. But they all lead in their own unique ways. And Steph leads with his example, his work ethic, his humility. The players all love him. They love playing with him. They appreciate him so much. And I think with the injuries, he's where he's grown is his awareness, his understanding of what needs to happen, what he needs to do when other guys are out. Just sort of, game management stuff. But he's always been the same person. I think that's the beauty of Steph. He doesn't change. He's a rock, and our guys lean on him all the time.
Hey, Steve, Mark Medina, Bay Area News Group. It's obviously a different set of injuries and an opponent, but what do you think it's going to take to have a kind of performance like the Game 6 against Houston where, the star players that are healthy and the bench players all rose to the occasion?
Yeah, and that's not the only time that that has happened. I mean, the other night was a good example. We had to finish the game without Clay, without Kevin. We did that in Game 5 of the Houston series too, when Kevin got hurt. And so our team is very adaptable. We got a lot of versatility, and what it requires is bench players being ready to step up like they always are, and guys just playing hard and playing together. And I think you have to be fearless too, which our team is. You can't worry about anything. You just go out there and play and compete and let it fly, and whatever happens, happens.
Hi, Steve. Janie McCauley from AP. We only got to see a half an hour of it. Did Kevin get on the court at all today, or is he? And that's still a step that you need to.
Kevin's going to get on the floor at the practice facility later today. So he did not get on the floor here. He was here for our film session and for some treatment, but he'll be getting some work in this afternoon. And so yeah, he's out for tomorrow, but improving, and we'll just keep updating you when we have something.
Hi, Steve. Ann Killian, San Francisco Chronicle. How challenging is this stretch for you and your coaching staff? I mean, can you compare it to other playoff stretches in terms of, just what you're having to do, playing young players, losing key bodies, trying to figure out the right rotations?
I don't really look at it that way. I haven't even stopped to think about whether this reminds me of any particular year or anything. It's just part of the job, and I think the way we look at it is it's a challenge, and we accept the challenge and embrace it. And both as a team and as a staff, we sort of, but obviously we're mostly just feeling sorry for the players who can't be out there because that's what they work for. But when it happens, we feel like, all right, we got to do our jobs, and we've got to figure out the combinations that'll make sense, and we just do it, and it's part of the job, and it's I don't want to say enjoyable because it's dampened by the injuries themselves, and you feel bad. I feel so bad for Loon. Especially, Clay and Kevin were very hopeful they're going to be back out there, but Loon, much like DeMarcus, the second game of the playoffs, when these guys go down, and especially during the postseason, you just feel so badly for them. But the job is to move on and give your team the best chance to win. So we just meet every day and try to figure it out.
Steve, Mark Schwartz, ESPN. Boogie just said that the last time he saw a box and one was in middle school. Steph called it a janky defense. I was wondering when the last time you saw a janky defense like that, and how do you think it worked against you guys?
In ninth grade, a team played one against me, so very proud to announce that. I had a box and one just like Steph. So janky defenses have been going on for a long time. What does janky mean anyway? I'm not exactly sure. But
that was Steph's word. I don't know.
Yeah, it was very effective. The key with the zone is, or any janky defense for that matter, it just changes the rhythm. And so watching the tape, we had open looks that we didn't knock down, but the rhythm changed and the look changed, and so it was very effective. They did a good job with that. It's just typically not something you can rely on for big, long stretches of the game. It's probably something you see more often in high school, even college, you see it. But I don't remember ever seeing it in the NBA.
Yeah, Steve, Mark Berman, New York Post. How did Clay look moving around or shooting? We saw some shooting. How optimistic are you about Game 3?
Well, he says he's feeling well and that he's feeling a lot better today than he did yesterday, and he thinks he'll be ready to go. But yeah, as I said the other night, Clay's always going to say he's ready to go, and what we'll have to determine is that a risk? If he plays, are we risking anything? If the training staff feels good about his ability to go out there and play without making things worse, then he'll play. But if there's a risk, we'd rather give him the next couple of days to continue to heal and hopefully have him out there for Game 4. But it's literally day to day.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks.